Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating ancient text called the在家律要廣集. We're going to discover how ancient lay Buddhist rules aren't just some boring list of restrictive thou shalt nots. Actually, they're a highly sophisticated, deeply psychological system designed for total personal liberation. If you've ever wondered how everyday practitioners navigated the path to enlightenment centuries ago, well, you're in the right place. Kick things off, picture this. Imagine a young guy named Yasa. He's a wealthy youth living it up in the ancient city of Varanasi. He's got the life most people only dream of. Multiple palaces for different seasons, endless entertainment, total comfort, the whole shebang. But one morning, he wakes up in his luxury palace, looks around at the messy aftermath of a lavish party, and something in his worldview just snaps. He sees his attendants completely passed out, disheveled, snoring, grinding their teeth, and suddenly Yasa feels this profound existential dread. The glamour, it's totally shattered. He actually cries out in horror. This is suffering. What is there to covet? This intense revulsion hits him so hard that he literally flees the palace right then and there, slipping out of the city gates to find a genuine spiritual path. Section 1. Awakening and the Birth of Laity, the foundation of lay Buddhism. You know, this deeply relatable moment of total human disillusionment is exactly what sets the stage for a practical, ethical framework. So Yasa crosses a river, eventually finding his way to the Buddha at the deer park. But here's the cool part. The story doesn't end with just him becoming a monk. His frantic father comes searching for him, ends up hearing the Buddha speak, and is so moved that he asks to follow the path without giving up his worldly life. Soon after, Yasa's mother and wife follow suit. Just like that, they become the very first lay disciples in history. Section 2. Returning to Truth, the Three Refuges, the basis of the spiritual path. By taking what's known as the Three Refuges, Yasa's family laid the exact groundwork we still use today. They consciously shifted their entire life's orientation, moving away from all those false, temporary attachments to anchor themselves in an ultimate, unchanging truth. The source text outlines this incredibly clear spiritual progression for us. It starts with the Three Refuges as your baseline commitment. Then it moves into the 5 precepts, which are your concrete ethical actions. Next, it expands into the 10 good deeds, covering pretty much all behavior. And finally, the whole thing builds toward profound spiritual liberation, ultimate enlightenment. Let's demystify these ancient terms for a second. The text makes it clear that taking refuge isn't just some empty ritual. It's about relying on the Buddha as the ultimate teacher, the Dharma as the truthful path, and the Sangha as a supportive community. It's a structured, highly intentional turning of your mind toward a reliable framework, especially for when this chaotic world inevitably lets you down. Moving to Section 3. Wisdom of Precepts and Deeds. Armor for the mind, not a prison. Transitioning from the big philosophy to practical, everyday reality, the text introduces the actual rules of behavior. And here's the absolute crucial paradigm shift. These rules, they aren't designed to be a prison that kills your fun. Far from it. They're presented as a vital form of spiritual protection. Quoting the Nirvana Sutra, the text uses this beautiful metaphor. It says precepts are like the earth that supports all trees. Just as a tree literally cannot grow without soil, goodness cannot grow without this ethical baseline. They're also compared to a guiding merchant, safely navigating a caravan through life's dangerous, unpredictable terrain. So here they are, the famous 5 precepts. These represent the core actionable rules that form a practitioner's daily armor. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no intoxicants. The text emphasizes that maintaining these 5 simple rules protects you from massive psychological turmoil and pretty heavy negative consequences down the line. From there, the 10 good deeds expand on those precepts to comprehensively cover, well, every aspect of our interaction with the world. Physically, we protect life and property. Verbally, we speak with truth, harmony, and kindness, so avoiding gossip and harsh words. And mentally, we actively cultivate generosity, compassion, and the right view. It's basically a complete ethical overhaul of your physical actions, your words, and your internal mental states. Section 4. The Nuance of Intention. An Ancient Ethical Legal Code. Now, this ancient text isn't blindly dogmatic. It actually functions a lot like a highly nuanced legal code that judges the mind's intent, not just the physical outcome of an action. For example, on one hand, you have an intentional act, like digging a hidden pit to deliberately trap and kill someone.
Obviously, strict violation. But on the other hand, the text describes a builder working on a roof who accidentally loses his grip on a heavy wooden beam, tragically killing a carpenter below. Comparing these two, the text explicitly points out that without malicious intent, like the builder's awful accident, there's no fundamental violation of the precept. Intent is literally everything.
And the text dives into some seriously fascinating legalistic nuances here. It states you can violate the killing precept without even lifting a finger, say by dispatching an emissary or using dark magic with the intent to harm. It gets even stricter. It notes that if you're carrying someone else's property and you shift that object from your left shoulder to your right shoulder with the intention of stealing it, that microscopic shift alone is a strict violation. Crazy, right? It even gives a specific financial threshold. The text specifies that stealing value equivalent to exactly 5 ancient coins is the hard boundary for grand larceny. Cross that 5-coin line with the intent to steal, and boom, you entirely lose your lay vows. It is incredibly specific about establishing firm boundaries for the mind. Section 5. Miracle of Averting Disasters. The tangible power of the precepts. To really prove the tangible, almost supernatural power of adhering to these rules, the text shares this thrilling narrative. It's designed to show exactly what happens when you hold on to your ethical armor. So, set the scene. A man is exiled by his own parents because he got drunk, violating the precept against intoxicants. However, he stubbornly refuses to break his remaining 4 precepts. He arrives at a stranger's house to rest. What he doesn't know is that his host actually worships 3 highly demanding demons. But get this, because the exiled man is keeping his 4 precepts, those demons actually flee the house in absolute terror of his moral purity. Let's jump to the climax of the story. Our traveler continues on and stays at a remote inn. As nightfall approaches, the innkeeper's wife drops a horrifying secret. Her husband is literally a man-eating ghost. Terrified for the traveler's life, she frantically hides him inside this massive urn just as the monstrous husband returns home, hungry for human flesh. But here is the stark moment of dramatic truth. The man-eating ghost bursts in, sniffing out the human. He stomps over to the urn, but he physically cannot open it. He can't even get close to the man, solely because of the intense protective power radiating from the traveler's remaining 4 precepts. Even broken, his ethical armor literally saves his life. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate payoff of the whole story. While he's hiding in the urn, the man actually teaches the precepts to the demon's wife. The very moment she accepts them, the heavens notice. The deity, Indra, immediately dispatches exactly 50 protective gods to guard them both. With this divine protection, they escape the monster and journey together to find the Buddha. So, what does this all mean for us? As this explainer shows, the ancient texts view true freedom quite differently than we might today. It's not about doing whatever we want, whenever we want. True freedom is having the discipline to master our own minds, using ethics as our armor against the world's absolute chaos. Which leaves us with a provocative thought. In our modern world of endless distractions and shifting morals, what anchors your mind today?